voice of U.S. Army, WTF Moments. This is WTF Nation Radio. This is WTF Nation Radio.
Everything stated on WTF Nation Radio is to be considered the opinion of the person that stated it, and not an official representation of WTF Nation Radio or U.S. Army WTF Moments.
Price does not include tax, title, or license. Some assembly required. Each item sold separately. Batteries not included. Objects in mirror are closer than they appear. If conditions persist, contact a physician. Individual results may vary. Keep out of the reach of children. Avoid prolonged exposure to direct sunlight. Keep in a cool, dark place. And
please enjoy the show. Shots.
I don't know shit about fuck.
All right, here we go. Today is Friday, the 24th day of September. My name is Koz, and that up there is Pooky and his shiny ass head. And this is Friday Night Freedom. Welcome, everybody. WTF Nation Radio is streaming again. Oh my gosh, I have a problem pulling up our little universal chat thing. So I cannot. Normally we have this little chat interface where I can talk to everybody, anybody who's on Twitter, on either of the Facebook pages, on Periscope, everywhere. You know, everything shows up on one screen, which is really cool. Mine's not working tonight, so kind of flying a little bit blind tonight. I'm not going to be able to interact directly. So please forgive me, but you know I've got this really cool guy on the screen with me who likes to pay attention to stuff, and we have staff members that are paying attention to stuff. So they'll get with you, and if it's something that I need to be concerned with, then I'll get a message. So that's that. Welcome, happy Friday, everybody. What a week! It's been a good week. It's been a good week. It's been a tiring week. It did go by pretty quick. We had our fake fall showed up in Texas.
Oh, the fox fall.
Yeah, the false fall. It was like 100 degrees, and then the next day a cold front came through, and then it was like in the 50s the next morning, and it was beautiful. It was awesome. Went through the day. I think the high was 80 something degrees, and it was really, really nice. And then I woke up the other morning. It wasn't this morning. It was yesterday morning. It was 45 degrees or 48 degrees.
Ooh.
Yeah. But I left work today, and the temperature on my car when I started it up it was like 90 something. You know, we're back into the mid 90s. But we got, fall's coming. The real fall's coming. I can't wait for it to cool down a little bit. I don't really mind the heat so much, but damn, dude, sometimes it's just brutal.
There's a buddy of mine. He lives in Gainesville? Not Gainesville, yeah. Gatesville, Texas. Right outside.
Texas.
Yeah, right outside the Waco clean area.
Yeah.
He sent me a text message one morning. I guess he was going to pick his kids up from school or daycare or something like that, and his temperature on there said 118. He's like, damn, it's hot. I was like, yeah, screw that. this kids would stay at daycare.
No kidding. They'll die if they go outside. Yeah, you know, a lot of times it's a fake thing. Like, I'll get in my car and it'll say 103 degrees, and I'll start driving and it'll drop down to like 100. So I usually subtract about 3 degrees from whatever the display temperature is.
Because it's picking the temperature up off the black top
off the parking lot, yeah. And I'm not moving or nothing.
Once you start moving, that temperature changes real quick. Yeah.
Yeah, not a whole lot, but it changes. It doesn't go down a whole lot, but it does change a little bit. So, hey, everybody, we got a great show tonight. Let me do a little bit of housekeeping. So we've got a guest coming up on Pop Culture Warrior on the 28th. On the 28th, and this ninja, Michelle C. Smith, is going to be with us. Actress and stunt woman Michelle C. Smith will be joining CQ and Radar on Pop Culture to talk about her latest projects and what she has coming up. She has, and I looked into her just a little bit, and just for a brief moment, and these are things that came up in that brief moment. She has either been a stunt performer or stunt coordinator in hundreds, if not thousands, of films: The Magicians, Deadpool, The Colony, the Supernatural series, The 100, Supergirl. The list is extremely long and very impressive. So she's going to be on Pop Culture Warrior this Tuesday. Tonight we have a guest. It's going to be Herman Corey from HLC Productions. This dude makes magic with a 3D printer, and he makes really, really cool stuff. Anybody who is a tanker or an artilleryman is probably going to just gush all over the place because
I saw the store and I was like, ooh.
His store is awesome, man. He's got a lot of really nice stuff in there, and this is all 3D printed stuff available for sale. So we'll be able to
life-size replicas.
He's got the life-size stuff, and he's got like scaled down models and things. It's cool, man. It's just really cool. So that's going to be Herman Corey is going to be with us at the top of the hour. And I like that. Let's 3D print something. That's probably what I'd do, dude. If I had a 3D printer, I'd be like, scan something in, or I'll find something online. So find some kind of 3D design online and just print it. Because why not, right?
I'd blow your mind with this webpage called Thingiverse.
Thingie verse.
Thingiverse. You go on there and you can search anything. It's an open source.
So there's no copyright, there's no trademark, there's no nothing. It's just
you can find anything you want to. It's a beautiful, beautiful, beautiful website. You can spend hours on there just looking at the stuff you can print off.
So when you say anything, what do you mean by anything? Like anything?
Anything.
Let your mind imagine. Just imagine something.
No, and if not, I mean, if you use like a VPN like I could just go on to my Onion router and hit dark web up or deep web or whatever you want to call it and pull up whatever I want to. So it works out.
No footprint. So that's what we got coming up for tonight. He's got an interesting background. I can't wait to talk to him. I know nothing about. I use the products that are produced by 3D printing. I don't have a damn clue. I don't have a clue how they work. I don't know. What I'm thinking is you just come up with something and you put it into SolidWorks. You make your personal adjustments and then you hit print and then you go away for half a day and then you come back and it's there. It sits.
Pretty much just there's like different kinds of printers. You got your like a PTL kind of like filament printers, and then you got resin printers that print upside down where there's this pool of resin that they go and the stuff just forms out of it.
So it builds up from the bottom, and the base moves.
The base moves up, so it just sits there and dips itself into this resin tray. It's a liquid resin, and UV lights hit it, and it hardens as the UV light hits it. It just dips itself slowly. It's kind of like dipping a candle, like the old way they used to make candles and stuff like that.
No, I'd put like my finger in the wax.
Oh yeah, well that's not good. That stuff's not good for your health.
Oh. Tell 7-year-old me that.
I had, what was it back in the day, that creepy crawler set. That was the coolest thing.
So how's the dude? Okay, so a couple of weeks ago, I was infected with the Rona, right? A couple of weeks ago, it was the end of August and the beginning of September.
Mm-hmm.
That, and I think I mentioned this last week, is that when I got sick, I thought I was the only guy that got sick. The entire lab got taken down except for 2 people.
Oh dang!
One of those people got he has other health issues. So he went and got tested, and it came back positive on Wednesday morning. He got the PCR test, so he had it taken Tuesday. He was out Tuesday because he had an appointment at the doctor. So they're like, "Hey, we're going to take a PCR test." So they took it. Well, they called him while he was at work on Wednesday morning and said, "Hey, dude, you are positive." So he's out. He's not sick, but he tested positive for the virus. So he's sitting at home for the next 10 days being bored. But he's married and he's got a kid, so I'm sure his wife's got a very long list of things for him to accomplish while he sits around.
The honeydew list.
Right. See, I was sick at home, but recovering and feeling better, and I still didn't feel like doing shit. I don't have anybody. I don't have a drill sergeant living here telling me what to do or making me lists and stuff like that. I give the women a hard time, but it's just, if you're going to sit at home, you're going to do something. Fold the laundry, wash the dishes, something, just something.
That's my least favorite task as a human being.
Washing dishes?
Laundry. No, folding laundry. It's just hate it. I mean, I was really good at keeping up with it while I was in the military because it had to.
Yeah, and you needed clothes to wear, right?
But then when I got out, it was just kind of like, well, I'll just throw that in a laundry bag and let it sit. And then I come back to it about like a week later. I'm like, oh, man, I got to throw that back in the dryer. I'll wrinkle it.
I'm guilty right now. I've got a dryer of clothes that I dried last Sunday. I had plenty of clothes for the week.
Still got clothes.
It's just there. And what I'll do is I'll turn the dryer on for about 20 minutes. And then it's like, boop, I just washed these clothes. I hang all of my shirts. I take all of my underwear. I throw them in a bag or in a bucket. Not a bucket. It's a basket. And socks. I'm very particular with my socks. I will fold them. I'll do. And I'm one of those guys that I'll separate my laundry. It's like whites go over there, and then everything else goes into a different pile. So I have like 30 pairs of socks, maybe more than that. And I have a white laundry bag, and all my socks go in there. And every couple of weeks, I run a load of whites. But every other week is just like, everything goes in all the colors. I wear colored shirts, like this is my the Fat Electrician shirt. It's never a war crime the first time. So all of this will go into the same, all my jeans and all that other. Oh, there you go. Murder hobo. But yeah, I got lazy last week, so I didn't I didn't feel like folding it. So I had plenty of clothes to go on. So I completed this week. Now I'm going to have to do a load of. I'm still good on socks, so I don't have to do a white load this week, but it's going to be a pretty good size color load.
Owned a pair of white socks since I joined the military.
Would you just do black? Normally, sometimes, like when I worked on the flight line and stuff, we could wear shorts. I would wear, like a good pair of safety shoes, the sneaker-looking safety shoes with the steel toe, with the cut-off black socks. So I used to have like tons and tons of pairs of those, but I can't wear in my lab. I can't wear shorts, so it's all jeans. I got to wear jeans. So jeans, I have really comfortable shoes, and I just put on a pair of tube socks. And
a really nice like dress sock collection that I've acquired over the years, but I don't have a suit anymore because I've done outgrew my suits and stuff like that. And, But I got some really cool ones. I've got like the Gremlins on it, and what's another one? Dragon Ball Z. They're just kind of like they go with your dress, your suit pretty much. But then when you sit there, this is something fancy, like kind of like a tie kind of thing.
I'll bet you dress up pretty good. Put you in a nice suit.
It's been a while.
You haven't had an opportunity or an occasion.
No.
You haven't had an occasion.
Well, my last suit I got rid of because I outgrew it. It was tailored. Well, I don't want to say outgrew. I can't show you my gut right now, but I need to lose a couple pounds, and I might be able to get back into it.
Let's see. I wore a suit it was a job interview, and then after that, I wore the suit. The same. Well, it was the same suit, but a different shirt. I wore that for Minx's wedding. I actually dressed up nice. It was cool. I like dressing up, but what I don't like is like if I gain weight or something and I put that suit back on, I'm like, damn. I guess I'm not wearing a tie.
It was tight. Like I was like, but my last year in Army, last 2 years in the Army, I still had they were transitioning over to the blues. I guess they're going into the pinks and
greens,
whatever. But I had the old green, the old Class A, and
oh yeah, I got mine in my closet right over there.
For some reason, the unit I was in, they wanted to always do their dog and pony shows with the Class A's, and I was like one of the last few guys, so I got stuck with it every time, and I would have to fit myself into the Class A's because I had gotten so big from when, I did, I was tactical units the whole time, so I only put it on like once, maybe a year, and then I go to the strategic unit, and I'm now finding myself, I'm putting this on. I had to go get a new top. I had to get, I pretty much. I'm like, man, I ain't spending all this money. I'm getting out of the Army here in like a year.
You actually had to spend your clothing allowance not on beer.
Yeah, I know, right?
I don't know if I ever spent my clothing allowance on what it was intended for, other than like a new cap, patrol cap, or I don't know.
It's a patrol cap with the sewn on rank, and your name sewn on the back of it, and that's your whole clothing allowance right there. Bam.
I don't even know what it is now. So guess what? You can't. This is. I don't know if this is a national thing, but it did come across. We have some listeners out in the Philadelphia area, and this was, they'll post stories, and I'll read their stories and stuff. So along my timeline, I'll get these suggested news stories, and one of these suggested news stories was saying that there is a booze shortage, like a shortage of alcohol. Which is crazy, which is kind of crazy. So several states across the United States are still still experiencing booze shortages related to COVID-19, and it's unclear when supply will be able to meet demand. Early in the pandemic, it was common to find booze low in stock after some liquor stores briefly closed amid statewide lockdowns and skyrocketing consumer demand for alcohol. I did not experience this. I mean, we've got a Specs liquor store. I never saw them light on anything. I never saw them.
Last time I was at a liquor store around here, they're good stock. Huh?
So this is, of course, in Pennsylvania. The Pennsylvania State Board in charge of consumer liquor sales. I guess this is like certain states that actually have the government.
Has the most archaic alcohol laws. So
more than Ohio? More than Ohio? It's probably similar too.
Way worse than Ohio. Way worse than Ohio. I mean, at least here where I live, I can buy beer 24/7. Doesn't matter what day it is. I just walk to the gas station, buy beer. You know, liquor's got its time limits and everything on it. But Pennsylvania, you can't buy beer from a gas station. You can only buy like a 6-pack from like a 6-pack store. That's the way it works.
Well, they have package stores.
Well, they've got distribution places where you can buy 32 packs and above. Mm-hmm. So you have to buy in bulk. Because their idea is you buy in bulk, you're not going to drink it drive. I guess I don't know what it is. Wine is really hard to come by.
Wow,
but it's Pennsylvania's a little backwards. I was born there. You know, like I know how the whole system works. It drives me nuts every time I go visit family. I'm like, yeah, I'm gonna go get some beer. I'll go roll to the gas station. I'd be like, crap. Like they don't sell beer.
Damn, all they sell is gas and cigarettes.
Yeah, pretty much.
So I went to I moved. I went to Iraq. My family moved from Texas to Ohio, and then I came back from Iraq, and I went to Ohio, and it was weird. It was weird because you'd go through the grocery stores and you'd see bottles of Jack Daniels in Kroger, bottles of Jack Daniels.
Oh, it's like when I walked into Arizona and I went through the Walmart aisle looking for beer, and I just stumbled down this one alleyway, and is that Jack Daniel?
That's exactly what I did.
And I was so confused for a minute because I sat there. I was like, I've never seen, like Florida, they separate it. Walmart sells it, but it's a separate package store on the side.
But it was in Illinois we had this store called it was a Osco Jewel store. Jewel was the grocery side. Osco was the pharmacy side, and they would only sell the liquor. They would sell the liquor on the pharmacy side. It was crazy. Anyway, back to my story. I would go into Kroger. First time I went to Kroger, I saw liquor like whiskey on the shelf in the grocery store. I'm like, wow, this is weird. And then, how you doing, Branko? Welcome. But when you look closely, it was the half proof stuff. It wasn't an 80 proof bottle of Jack Daniels. Okay. It was a 40 proof bottle of Jack Daniels. If you wanted to get the full strength stuff, you had to go to a state-run liquor store. Only the state-run liquor stores could sell the full proof stuff.
I think the law in Florida was nothing could be above 20%. I think.
I don't know. I've never had an issue. It's never crossed my mind that you couldn't go to the grocery store and buy beer or go to and go and buy a bottle of liquor whenever you wanted. I don't think I've ever been concerned with the time limitations of it, except when I was in the military. It's always like, we fucking ran out of beer at 2:00 in the morning. Where are we going to get some more?
Oh, well, I mean, I know at Fort Hood, I think the post commander was one of the first ones to do it at Fort Hood, but you could party all night long out in Killeen, drunk as hell. Come drive on base, stop at the dang Class 6, and it'd be open. And you could buy liquor till all hours of the morning, pretty much up to a certain time. I don't know, but usually we would just do a quick liquor run and hit the barracks up and party until everyone passed out. But I think they changed that.
Yeah, I don't remember having a Class 6 open past regular business hours. Yeah, but you can go into a shop at.
Jim said Utah is nothing over 1%.
1%.
they're just drinking, so it's pretty much near beer at that point, huh?
1% as far as beer goes?
Well, I don't know. He just said Utah, nothing over 1%. That's crazy. If this is what I'm reading there, that's nuts.
See, I know I've heard people in Oklahoma talk about having the near beer.
Colorado has a weird law, like beer can only be like what your normal Bud, I guess your Bud Light's like a 4% or whatever it is, where when you're in Colorado, it's like a 3.5%. They have to brew their beer weaker for some reason, which
we had when we did our show in Colorado in Boulder, we stayed in it was an apartment paid for by the station or U.S. Army WTF Moments. Underneath, you go down through the parking garage, and like underneath, it was like a multi-story building, but you go down to the ground floor, and there was a liquor store down there, and that's when Spanky loaded up on Bud Light, and she's like, "What kind of beer do you want?" And I was like, "Oh, Shiner." So we're looking around for Shiner, and Shiner was there, but oh God, it was expensive. I mean, here in Texas, it's probably $20 for a case. I think it was $20 for a 12-pack in Boulder. And she's like, "That's okay, I'll buy it." She was really cool about it. And I was like, I had just met her. She had just become a part of the station. I don't even think she was she wasn't a part of the station yet. And she's like buying beer and stuff. So anyway, back to the, go ahead.
No, I can't get Shiner here.
You can't?
Get Shiner here. No, I'm on the East Coast. Good luck finding that shit. Good beer, though.
Shiner is good beer. Once I get my taste back, I think I started getting my taste back, but then when we had our false fall, my allergies started kicking up, and I usually sneeze a little bit. I get a little bit of itchy eyes and stuffy nose in the spring and in the fall. So I think it's coming back. When it does come back, I'm going to crack open a Yuengling. I heard that's just really good and smooth. So
I love the Yuengling. I have a Yuengling hat floating around here somewhere, but I don't know where it's at.
I like it, just as long as it's not like bitter in the back of my throat. It's probably okay. So back to the liquor shortage. The Pennsylvania State Board of in charge of consumer liquor sales announced last week that it's rationing liquor. It's limiting customers to 2 bottles of certain kinds of alcoholic beverages per day, which for a normal person is probably more than enough. The Pennsylvania Liquor Control Board said that the purchase limit on select items, including Hennessy Cognac, Buffalo Trace Bourbon, and Patron Tequila, will be in place for the foreseeable future.
Okay. So, I mean, I can just walk out and just buy well, you know what? Is there really like a trucking supply issue? I haven't really noticed. I've seen, like, every time I go anywhere, I see trucks on the road. So
I think
it hasn't changed.
I think there is. I think there is issues. There are issues with supply, or with the transportation of the supply. So it's explained a little bit further here. Some producers are struggling to source glass bottles. The cost to import liquor from overseas has shot up because of the price increases in international shipping. And actually delivering the booze to bars, restaurants, and other vendors has been hampered by a shortage of truck drivers. I don't know, and I'm in my Texas bubble here. Everything is as it always has been here. So along the line, you almost have a compounding effect, adding that some of these problems existed before the pandemic, but they grew worse over the past year. Many liquor stores, or many liquors simply take a long time to make. Producers have to grow or buy their ingredients, distill the spirit, and then let it age. That means producers must anticipate demand years in advance. They just can't turn on the spigot when the demand rises. That makes sense to me. That's business. I don't know. Is anybody else out there experiencing this?
I know there's been some weird shortages in my area that I've kind of like seen. You know, you're walking down
it's weird. We had a Lunchable. There was a Lunchables shortage for a very short amount of time.
Capri Suns are almost impossible. That's like my favorite. I wake up in the morning and I just drink one of those. It's like the first thing I do every morning. That's like my ritual at that point. You can't find them anywhere here where I live. And when I do find them, I'm like fighting off like some mom that's trying to get it for her kid's lunch. You know, like, no,
fuck
I'm
your
taking
kids.
this.
Fuck your kids, Karen. I want my Capri Suns.
And primer, paint primer, like the spray primer. Oh, you cannot find spray primer anywhere around here for some reason.
Wow.
There's certain spray paint colors are slowly vanishing. Like you go into the Lowe's, the spray paint aisle has slowly been vanished.
I haven't noticed. I don't go out very much. I've got pretty much everything I need here, and I haven't noticed. I'm gonna the next time I'm out, I'm gonna actually walk down every aisle and kind of make a little inventory of what's short, what's not. I just haven't noticed.
That's what my friend told me to do. He said start keeping note of things because it'll start clicking to you. Like you go into like Walmart, you probably don't go into the toy aisle that often. I do a lot because of like the tabletop games, stuff like that, in the back corner or whatever it is. I go check them out. There's no toys. They're like completely non-existent at this point. It's. I mean, the shortage is happening. People just not notice it because you don't go in a toy aisle. Some people don't go down to charcoal aisle hardly ever. And there's weird shortages here and there. You go down that charcoal aisle at your grocery store, you'll start seeing paper plates missing, red Solo cups falling off the shelf. It's getting crazy at this point.
That is weird. I think that's probably a good practice. The next time I go in, and I'm going to go grocery shopping probably Sunday morning when I get up, and I'll notice things. I go to it's not the Walmart, the big Walmart. We have what do they call it? The neighborhood market version of Walmart. So it's
we got one of those down here by the beach.
So it's like everything that you find in Walmart minus the toys and the stereo equipment and stuff like that.
Yeah, it's the electronics, the toys, the home improvement, all that stuff's missing.
Yeah, they have like one aisle that has like screws and washers and Goo Gone and all the common things that you might need, plungers, but then all the other things that they have, the gas additives and waxes and stuff they don't necessarily have, or if they do, it's only in short supply.
Reminded me, I actually just before the show I saw Costco. I was going to mention that to you, but I forgot. My brain.
What was the shortage? Because I did see that story. What was the shortage?
Cleaning supply and toilet paper again. So they're limiting. I think that the reason of the story is they're going to start not rationing. That's a bad word, but they're limiting your ability to purchase. Pretty much what it is. It's trying to prevent people from hoarding. But me, I believe in price gouging because it helps the market out. People think it's an evil practice.
Well, it's supply and demand
from hoarding shit. Mm-hmm. So.
But to have Karen being the first in line, buying up all the freaking Clorox wipes.
Well, she can afford them at $50 a pop, then let her do it.
But then, what I liked, what Costco did is they actually put a sign out shortly after no one can get toilet paper saying that you're not going to be allowed to return these items.
0 returns.
Yeah. So
and then Marketplace was flooded with toilet paper for sale for like super cheap there.
Yeah. Hey, you want to buy back the toilet paper that I... So I don't know. I think these shortages are in states that are still playing that lockdown game or all the restrictions.
100. Pennsylvania was up there with one of the most draconian laws that they had. Like people started calling their governor like King Wolf or something like that. I think his name's Wolf.
Yeah, it's Governor Wolf.
Yeah, they started calling him King Wolf because he put such archaic laws. Well, I say laws, mandates. They're not laws or mandates.
They're not laws. They're just
we're gonna fine you.
Yeah. Based on what?
Like okay, cool. But no, Pennsylvania is bad. I got a lot of family members that live up in there, like central Pennsylvania area, and they said it was horrible there for a while.
Everybody I know that's in Pennsylvania right now. So this is not everybody in Pennsylvania. This is everybody that I know. I work with a lot of like engine designers and stuff that come to work that are like, oh yeah, the Cowboys are going to lose to the Eagles on Monday. They're playing Monday Night Football, but they're waiting for an opportunity to leave that state. It's almost as bad as like California with their taxes. It's Philadelphia or it's Pennsylvania with the laws. out of control.
Pennsylvania's got some crazy taxes too. They're getting up there with California.
I think Pennsylvania is has the highest gas tax. Yeah.
And then, if you've ever driven through anywhere in Pennsylvania, then you know they're not taking care of their roads. That's all I got to say.
And their drivers are assholes.
Yeah, that too.
So I got fact checked. I don't know. This might happen to a lot of people. I don't post a lot, but on my personal page, I posted this funny. I thought it was funny, and because with all these
It's an honest question. That's what it was an honest question. I asked the same thing, and I was like, I like this.
It was the Haitian immigrant thing. So this meme popped up, and I'm like, I like that, so I shared it. And it says, I need someone to explain to me just how thousands of dirt poor Haitians got from Haiti to Del Rio, Texas, 2,000 miles and an ocean away. I got fact checked on that. So later that afternoon, I opened up my Facebook, and I got one of these guys. It says, missing context. The same information was checked in another post by independent fact checkers. See why? Click here. So I did my own little fact checking, and the distance from Port-au-Prince, Haiti, to Del Rio, Texas, is like 1,996 or 1,994 miles. So I'm like, okay, it's not 2,000, so maybe that's it. I don't know. It's an ocean away. It's not really an ocean away. It's a gulf. So maybe the gulf versus ocean thing maybe triggered the fact checkers because they're so smarter than everybody else, obviously. So I clicked on the little see why button, and this popped up. Same information was checked in another post by fact checkers. There may be some small differences. Independent fact checkers say that this information is missing context and it could mislead people. Learn more about how Facebook works. Blah, 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 Zucker sucks. Anyway, so I'm like, okay, obviously I posted something incorrect or not completely factual. So, okay, if I'm wrong, I'm wrong. That's fine. I just thought that freaking shit was funny. Sorry, that one right there. I need someone to explain to me how thousands of dirt poor Haitians got from Haiti to Del Rio, Texas, 2,000 miles away. I thought that was funny, and it's a question that's worth asking.
So I asked the same.
So I did do a little bit of research, and I realized that yes, I'm guilty. Thank you, fact checkers, for setting me straight. Actually, they didn't set me straight. They just kind of put up a little alarm bell. I had to do the research and say, okay, this is not completely 100% accurate. It's accurate, but it's not completely 100% accurate. Okay, so here we're going to talk about the Haitian thing that just happened. Haitians camped in Del Rio, Texas, are sleeping outdoors under a bridge as they wait for the government to apprehend and process them in the hope of claiming asylum. This particular spot along the border is a relatively new place for migrants that's getting a reputation for being safer than other spots. Safety is very important. Many Haitians on the border, most estimates say that there are about 20,000, were actually migrants from a different earthquake, the horrific one that happened in 2010. Y'all remember that when the Clinton Foundation... The Clinton Foundation raised all whole kinds of money, and
that money disappeared.
Yeah, it disappeared. It got laundered.
Chelsea Clinton had a most awesome wedding.
She had an awesome wedding and a really nice education, and so anyway, when that earthquake happened in 2010, I don't know how many bunches. Let's just say bunches because that's a very vague term. Bunches of Haitians settled in South America, mostly in Chile. How do we know that? Well, thousands of Chilean ID cards have been found along the route to Del Rio. All these ID cards and passports, these the ones on the left there's all the ID cards that are laying out there. are from Chile. Of course, the passports are from Brazil. The ones on the right, those are all from the country of Chile. Thousands of Chilean ID cards, of course, were found. Of the ones that have been interviewed, most of them speak really good Spanish, which is weird because most Haitians who live in Haiti either speak French or Haitian Creole.
Speaking Spanish, they've been living in Chile since 2008?
2010.
Okay, yeah. That's almost, 11 years will pick up some pretty good.
Well, if you have to adapt to your surroundings. So the Haitians in Latin America decided that now was a good time to go and enter the United States, mostly because they believe that President Biden is weak on immigration laws. As it turns out, the kinder, gentler, weak on illegal immigration Biden administration has returned 15,000 Haitian immigrants back to Haiti. Most of the single adult men are being deported back to Haiti. Family units are being released by Border Patrol with notices to report to continue their processes for asylum. So they still have to go through a process. What I found, and I mentioned to you earlier, is you get just your life gets complete. Your life is what it is when you're in Haiti. Okay. This really crappy, this earthquake happens and totally upturns your life. And I'm not going to judge another person, but Haiti is not a great place. It's very, very, very poor. It's run by a corrupt government. Yes. I think we can all agree on that.
I totally agree with that.
So they leave Haiti and they go to South America in a country called Chile. Beautiful country.
Really nice country from what I understand.
Very beautiful country. So they
actually has a stable, semi-stable government compared to the rest of the region at that point, from what I understand.
Yeah. So they go to Chile 11 years ago, and they start re-beginning their life. They bring their spouse, and they're building a life. They're working. They're paying rent or whatever they did. They did it in Chile, and then all of a sudden they decided to leave and make the trek from South America all the way through Central America, through Mexico to Del Rio, Texas, in the hope of a better life in the United States, because of the reports that I saw that for the same work that they did in Chile, they can get 3 to 5 times the amount of money here in the United States. So if that's not motivation enough, I mean, they got to provide for their families. So in an effort to shift the focus on the failures of the Biden administration, this is quite a journey we're going on. Now there's the passports and the ID cards. So in an effort to shift the focus on the failures of the Biden administration, Sawyer Hackett, you might hear this name coming up pretty soon, who is a senior advisor to Julian Castro, started accusing Border Patrol agents of using whips against the Haitian immigrants in Del Rio. This is completely false.
Except look at this picture until out of all 3 people in this picture, which one has never rode a horse before?
I don't know.
The
soy boy on the left.
He's like, oh, that's a whip. That is a rein.
Yeah, those are definitely reins. So this is completely false. The Border Patrol agents never used whips against the Haitian immigrants. This is definitely not true. But facts don't really seem to matter to good old Joe Biden. Biden actually said today that the border agents that confronted the Haitian immigrants, quote, will pay. So he's already condemned the Border Patrol agents. He's already turned against the Border Patrol.
They're already standing there without their horses now, from what I understand. They're just standing on ground now at this point.
They're not allowed to be on horseback anymore.
Which makes absolute no sense to me. But
no, I mean, because it's not like there's like a Border Patrol office with a break room that all these agents just sit in. There is a central location, and then they deploy remotely to their areas. They do it on horseback. They do it from helicopters. They do it from cars and jeeps. But a lot of that land is it's like inhospitable. You can't get there.
Exactly.
So
what I'm saying is, if I was one of the border patrol guys in charge of this, it's like, okay, no more horses. I would call Saudi Arabia and have like 10,000 camels imported.
Oh hell yeah!
Just to be a dickhead at that point.
I don't know how you would ride a camel. I mean, they're usually like pack animals where you just load them up full of shit.
Well, you can ride them.
Can you ride
a camel?
Maybe the double hump ones. You'd sit in between the humps.
You can ride a camel. No. I used to see that all the time.